Right, so your story's quite incredible how you've got here. So how have you sort of basically got here? What is your story?
Well, 9th of December 2010, I was involved in an IED blast. I didn't actually lose my feet, but I broke all the bones of my feet, so that resulted in me becoming a double amputee. Through all the rehab side of things, I was going through Headley Court, but then when I sat at home, I realised that I needed to find something to fill the space of all the time that I was at home. And then that's when I met Phil Spencer, and we came up with the concept of an injured serviceman's motorbike team, because I've always ridden bikes on the road. I've never actually raced, so when I was given the opportunity to go racing, I thought it was an easy option to say yes. So that's when True Heroes was formed. It's basically an injured serviceman's motorcycle race team. So everyone on the team has had to have served within the military. We predominantly embrace all the injured servicemen first, but now it's getting to the point where we'll just take in any veterans, whether it's PTSD, whether or not they're retired, whether it's through high trauma injury or low trauma injury. We'll take anyone on the team. The main thing is that they've served within the military.
Yeah. And is this any part of the forces? It can be Air Force, Marines, anything.
Yeah, we want all three services. So far, we can only get the Army and the Navy, because no one in the RAF wants to come onto the team. They do seem to get targeted, but it's just banter at the end of the day. We all get along, we all do the same job, we respect each other, but we just tend to focus on the RAF a lot more than the others.
Yeah, fantastic. So Mark, you recently competed in the British Disabled Strongman Championships?
Yeah, we've had the Britons this year and the world's strongest as well.
Yeah, and you are Britain's strongest disabled man. That's a fantastic achievement. How did you get to this point?
So I was the same with Murray, I suppose, where once you accept your military career's coming to an end, you start looking for that next path. And for me, it needed to be something that excited me and got the adrenaline going. So I tried a couple of things. I was a bit poor at some. I tried rowing, and I think I just went round in circles, and I realised that's probably not for me. So I got invited down early last year to like a taster day to try out strongman. Admittedly, like I was a little bit hesitant because I'm in the wheelchair class. So for a lot of the lads from Headley Court, it's once you're out of a wheelchair, you don't want to get back in one. So I turned it down in 2015 because I was still of the mindset of, no, I'm not sitting in a wheelchair. And then I just sort of thought, okay, yeah, I'll give it a go this year. And I went down and I loved it. We sort of pulled a truck, we moved Atlas stones, and it was like, oh, maybe I can do alright at this. And then I was told last year, like, you should enter the Britons, and it gave me 6 weeks to train. So I was like, well, I wasn't intending on doing it so soon, but I'll give it a go. And I won last year's Britons, which was the first time I competed. Absolutely loved it, and then it's just sort of spiralled from there.
Yeah. So what's your training program like? I imagine it's quite sort of very strict, and you've got to, it's quite solid.
Yeah, we'll tend to get a heads up with what. So there'll be 5 events at a competition, and you'll tend to get a heads up maybe 3-4 months prior to a competition of what the 5 events will be, what the weights will be. So then I base my training around those events. So I'll do 3 days a week in a gym, normal sort of conventional training, and then 2 days a week specifically for those events. And then as your training progresses, you try and do all 5 events in one session. So come the day of a competition, you're not going to fatigue. It's sort of building up that conditioning to be able to do all 5 events at sort of 100%. So yeah, twice a week I will do my event training.
Yeah, and this is something that is fairly still new to you. So what's your sort of targets for the future, if you like? What do you want to go on to achieve?
I've done better than I expected, earlier than I expected. When I sort of competed for the first time last year, I said, right, you know, I'd like to sort of get to the Worlds within 5 years and hopefully sort of place and try and win the Worlds within 5 years. And I qualified on my very first competition. So my plans or my ambitions sort of changed a little bit then. And I was disappointed this year. I came fourth at this year's Worlds. I sort of went there with the intention to win it. So now my sort of sole intention in strongman is to become the world's strongest. And I will keep sort of plugging away until I've won that.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for talking to us, guys. We wish you the best of luck for the future.
Thank you, mate.
Cheers, thank you.